right, here we go. Aussie USD. I took a trade Friday here for a buy, and it was a profitable one. I think almost about 2.5 R. And the reason I took it, let's jump into it. So first off, I got to give credit to Naveen because he was actually already trading this in different areas, and it just kind of made me want to say, okay, what's he looking at? I like to do that, just figure out, try to not necessarily try to take a trade, but just figure out what he's doing and what he may be seeing. Just something that I like to do. So what I have Aussie USD on the 15 and then on the 1 hour over here. So first off the bat on the 1 hour, what I see the flows down. So already I'm like, ooh, flows down. So it's counter trend on the 1 hour. I see this big old drop down with volume. And I see this area kind of like this big open area, like maybe a playground area. If it is wanting to pull back, it could pull back, to potentially these areas, right? So that's kind of first, just bigger thought. Okay, so a few things. So flow looks down already against me. I do see this big open area with this range. Okay, what's that mean? If potentially I'm looking for a buy, I have this area to work with. All right, look like we got down some other things. I'm just noticing quickly. We got down to here. We got up to here, and this is coming from something way up here. Okay, and this kind of, I noticed this on the bigger time frame. It looks like, okay, it's pretty sharp. It's like a sharp reversal. They may give more discounts, and I see sellers coming in, sellers. I mean, they're dominating, and then oof, big move up. Sellers try again. Boom, buyers just take it. People are buying this. Buy. Okay, they're buying. They're loading up. They're buying. Looks like we're starting to go. No. Oh, yeah. It looks like we're starting to go. And then just bam. It just crashes. This is my guy who started. Right? It crashes, but he didn't get his another try. Like he tried from here, but give him a better price and let's see what he does try-wise. So still technically, to me, this is still a buyer. If I want to go technical analysis, yeah, we took out the guy who started, but where's my try? It's not there. So this is still this buyer's try. And if I just look at just what I'm looking at, this looks almost like, here comes a try, almost like a set one and a set two try. And then it's almost like go over here to set one, set two. And we're still, one thing I do notice is, let me do this, is these are getting slightly higher. This got slightly higher, started to roll over. So we got this little slight higher high. Okay, and you can see it here on this one a little better. Things I'm noticing. Okay, so this is still could be something. So I go from here and I look at some correlation. Let's do that real quick. All right, so on correlation, what I'm noticing is I see this area, right? We got these slightly higher highs. Okay. But it's looked like the flow is down right here. The flow is up. Aussie has some strength. That's good. And we're in this kind of this nice area where we made higher highs and we're pulling back. Okay, that's interesting. We have this reverse Aussie still strong, pushing down. Guy who started, we're in that area of interest again. We have this push up, which made higher highs. We're getting close to him. This is another little area right here on Aussie Yen, and we're making these slightly higher lows. Yeah, higher lows, the word higher lows here. And then same here. We just broke above this last guy who started, and we're kind of holding in that area. So I was like, okay, Aussie looks okay. So let's jump to USD. USD, let me scroll out a little. USD is a little bit different. So USD is currently strongish. So all the USD pairs are strong in the overall picture, but the shorter term picture, they're slightly weak, and that's the direction I want to go. This one not so much, but we are doing those. Well, this is Aussie USD, the one we're looking at, and then short-term weakness. So that kind of goes together. So I'm like, okay, it's making sense. So pretty much done with correlation at this point. All right, back to that. And this is still before I even am entertaining a trade at all. I'm just kind of looking over this stuff to see what maybe is out there. So correlation lines up, check. The flow, immediate flow, is kind of against it. So I'm going to jump up time frame to the 4 hour. And I still see this flow is down pretty, and this was a pretty strong move down. So what am I doing buying this? These are just things that go into my head. And I see the EMAs. I'm just kind of curious. One more. I don't want to get too much caught into these time frame switchings. But something I did notice on the larger time frame, maybe this isn't relevant, maybe it is we have this consolidation. We have this push up, hold, push up, pull back to this area. We even try down here, and we swoop him. So this is a pretty big try, but in the daily picture from this point to this point, that's 50-ish% try and then a swoop. It is kind of large on the try side, but I'm going with swoop. We hold. We pull back, still we're holding. And we're still, so after the hold, we're waiting for a FOMO. No FOMO. Oh, we pull back deeper price. And then this starts to go. As a FOMO, that's kind of what I'm looking at. I'm like, okay, let's check that on the 4 hour. Let's see what we got. Let's drop back down now that we got this little story on the daily. Let me get rid of some of this. I'll be right back. All right, before I drop down too low, back to the daily, we have this area where I said is the hold. It's getting a deeper price, and now it's starting the FOMO. So what I want to do is on the next time frame lower, see where this FOMO actually, because if I go by this, it looks like this is the guy who started. So the FOMO wouldn't really start until after we take him out. So I'm not sure if this is correct, but I went to the 4 hour and where, so this is kind of a conflict of what I'm this is kind of why I don't know if it's correct. So we're going up, guy who started. This is pretty small. See, and that's the problem I get into. If I go to the details and I got to read these and then it rolls over. But if I read it from the daily and say, this is my guy who started, we go, we hold, we swoop him, or we take him out. So definitely people are going to be chasing this, chase. And if that is the FOMO, where would my dash be? My dash would have to be here. So what I'm thinking about that is, and this is where it gets wild, is that this possibly needs to come back to this area to take these people out. Or that's pretty far, or it could come and create something like this, a pullback in the FOMO. I don't know if this is correct. A pullback in the FOMO area where it looks like it's making a lower low. This strength will get people to move their stops in, vendor approach, right? Move their stops in. And like I said earlier on the little bit lower on the 1 hour, this was still a buy on the 1 hour and he didn't try yet. So that would almost line up with the fact that he needs to try. People are thinking sells, and he's actually going to come back to, what's the word? I'm getting lost in my words. Come back to take these stops, right? That's where the vendors, all the peoples are. This is where it looks like they were thinking sells. So this area is a nice vendor area. And this would be the dash. That's the word I'm looking for. So possibly this could be a dash. This is all I'm thinking in my head before I take this trade. I'm like, okay, this could be some type of dash, and whether or not there's still room to play in this area. And that would look like this on the 15. We got to get above this guy. And we have a set 1, set 2 failure. We're going to make higher, go for higher. All these things are slightly higher lows. And that's what led me to take this trade. Okay, let's pause that. Okay, with all that said, now I'm on the 1 hour, the 5 minutes. I could go to the 15. It doesn't really matter. Whoopsie. All right, now I'm going to get into my entry real quick. We'll make that minimal. But the overall analysis led me to say, you know what? I'm going to try this. I'm going to use this this vendor approach. We have this last push coming down like this set 2. This is the push, nice and strong, nice and strong. Where's my guy who started it? People are selling. They're selling machines right here. They're selling machines, sell. Where's their stops? Okay. If they're selling from here, they're probably still putting their stops over the guy who started, right? They're not moving them yet. If this guy does something like that, they'll put them here. And we have another try. They're even selling more here. Sell. Swoop. Took them out. Nice vendor line right here. Price. Lots of people stops there. All right. As we swooped him, we hold. We do a little bit of hold here. We do a nice FOMO going. FOMO's not there yet. FOMO starts here. Where are you going to put your stops? We're going to put our stops right there, which lines up with the vendors over here. This is just that area of orders, which is the price. And as I expected it to come back and hit these people for the dash, and that's where I hit an entry and just up to these guys right here. That was my target. I initially was trying to get in before all of that on a lower time frame. There was some stuff going on, but I had issues with putting in orders, whatever. But it turned out this was, to me, much safer, a nice, smooth buy. And that's it. I hope that made sense. Felt like that was a whole bunch. And yeah, we'll call that good.